Do I need an attorney? That's a good question. Agreements are considered legally binding documents, and as such, it's important to understand the effect of signing any legally binding document. If you are not familiar with the laws in the areas addressed, then it would be wise to consult an attorney. I am a realtor. I am not an attorney. I get asked legal questions. I have to know the contract frontwards and backwards, which I do, and I can answer the questions pertaining to what and how to fill in the contract, but I cannot give legal advice. Granted, real estate deals are complicated transactions, so the last thing you want is to land in legal hot water. So when do you know if you need an attorney or not? The job of a real estate attorney is to negotiate and make transactions come together in a peaceful manner that's fair and amiable to all parties. A real estate attorney takes over after the selling price and terms have been established by the real estate agents in the contract and all parties have signed. At that point, a real estate attorney reviews the contract and, once a home inspection and title search have been done, negotiates repairs and other adjustments to the terms of the deal. In case any last-minute issues crop up, the attorney will attend your closing along with your real estate agent and possibly a representative from your lender. Well, that all sounds great, but do I actually need one? Only certain states require that an attorney be involved. Ohio does not require that an attorney be involved in a real estate transaction. So let's take a look at reasons to hire a real estate attorney. Generally, people hire an attorney if their real estate deal is anything outside a vanilla transaction. What do we mean by vanilla? It means it's pretty cut and dry. They're asking a certain price. You're willing to pay that price. They're offering certain options with the closing date, the financing. Everybody comes together. Everybody says, yeah, that's well and fine. Boom, we'll sell it to you. We'll buy it from you. That's pretty vanilla transaction. Any issues there? Well, we don't know because we haven't done inspections, appraisals, title searches, and all that could uncover some unsavory situations. Reasons for a buyer to hire an attorney. If you're an out-of-town buyer, you don't know the local things that we're doing here in Ohio or in Cincinnati. If you're buying a property that is a short sale or bank-owned, I highly recommend you have an attorney that will overlook all the documents and paperwork for you there. You're buying a property that is part of an estate sale. Oh, absolutely. With an estate sale, you've got trustees. You've got folks who are overseeing a trust for the deceased or the family who is in a retirement home. That would be an estate sale. You definitely need an attorney then. When buying a commercial property, I'm residential. Commercial is a whole different ballgame, and there's a lot more complicated issues when it comes to commercial property. You're buying a property that could potentially have some structural issues. It's built in the side of a hill, it's a flood zone, or areas with adverse conditions. Those things will be uncovered in a home inspection. You may want to consult an attorney. They can't fix those things or make them right, but they can advise you as the steps that you can legally take to protect your interest in the transaction. What are some reasons that a seller would hire an attorney? Well, if you're selling a property that is in some state of distress, it used to be in the family, it's sat there vacant for 3, 5, 6, 8 years. There could be structural issues. Does the HVAC work? Do you want to just sell it as is? That has to be spelled out very plain and very clear. So you may need an attorney to write certain addendums to make sure that that is conveyed to the buyer and the buyer is buying it as is. There won't be any issues later that creep up. You're the heir or executor of a property whose owner is now deceased. You need to make sure it went through proper probate. You need to make sure that the trust, those who own the property, who inherited the property, they have full rights to sell that property. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it has to go through probate, and that could be very complicated. You're selling a house with an uncooperative partner. There are divorce situations pop up, and the courts say you need to dissolve this relationship, and this real estate is part of the relationship. You need to get rid of it. One party or the other doesn't want to do that. That could hold things up. You have a judgment or liens on the property. You may have back taxes which are attached to the property. You need to get rid of those. You may have had a lot of work done to the property. The contractors haven't been paid fully. They could put a mechanic's lien on the property. You need to have a complete title search done, which an attorney can do. Make sure you have clear, free, unencumbered title to the property so you can convey ownership to a buyer. You have that gut feeling that something could possibly go wrong based on knowledge you have about the property. All homeowners in the Ohio area are required to fill out a residential property disclosure form. Usually sellers are very forthcoming with filling those out properly, but sometimes you get to one of the questions and they go, do I have to really disclose that? Do I have to share about that? We did notice this about a year ago. We noticed that. We know we need to do this. Disclose. And if you really don't want to disclose, I would recommend you speak to an attorney about that, because I cannot advise you to do anything other than disclose it. Get it out of the way right now, folks. So those are a lot of reasons to have an attorney, either for buyers or sellers.